Hey guys, Marcinkin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to do the team building guide for the Omega Shenron and TEQ SSJ4 GOGETA EZA that will be releasing on Global very soon. So, it's a typical 30-stage EZA, aside from the fact that of course you are getting the EZAs for two units, but you never have to fight two enemies at the same time. You fight Omega for the first 15 stages, and you fight Gogeta for the last 10 stages. So, typical 30-stage EZA format, you get all the medals, you get some orbs, you get some Kais, you get 40 stones in total instead of 30. As you can see here, the last 10 stages give you 2 stones instead of 1, which is pretty good. Obviously, people would have preferred if it was 2 separate Extreme Z battles so we can get 60 stones, but, you know, if they're only going to give us 1 Extreme Z battle, I'd rather we get 2 good EZAs out of it rather than just 1, I guess. So, the special category is Shadow Dragon Saga. Now, obviously, this category is not very big, so in terms of team building, there's not really that much to go into. So, we're going to talk about the top picks and honorable mentions, as I always do in my team building guides, but that is pretty much going to incorporate most of the units in the category. But we can talk about some ways you can build your team if you do and don't have certain units. So, hopefully this will still be helpful to some people. So, as always with these team building guides, if there's a unit that you didn't think I talked about or talked enough about, let me know down below in the comment section. And if you find the guide helpful at all, do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, starting off, we obviously have the LR Super Saiyan 4s. Now, if you've pulled these guys, this EZA is going to be very easy. Even if you've only got them at 55%, this unit is an absolute beast. I personally slightly like them more than the gods, so I think this is the best unit on Global right now. Now, with their leader skill, Fused Fighters or GT Heroes, you can make a full team of Shadow Dragon Saga units, but at the end of the day, if you have to bring one unit who isn't on Shadow Dragon Saga, whilst that unit could potentially get you killed by a super attack in the later stages, because obviously they're not on the right category, it's still probably better to bring a unit like that than to bring some of the weaker, more terrible units from the Shadow Dragon Saga category. So if you can run these guys as the lead and then a friend, like, you're not going to have much trouble with this EZA. They are going to hard carry. As long as you get the 20 key to get the additional super attack, they're probably going to one-shot like the first 10 stages, maybe even, especially if you're bringing a friend with dupes. So these guys are obviously the #1 pick for the team. Now, then we have Int Gogeta. So he's a top pick to put on the team anyway, especially in the last 15 stages, because he has type advantage over Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. He's still going to be super effective against Omega, but obviously has type disadvantage, so if he's not countering a super, he might take a bit of damage. But he does lead Shadow Dragon Saga for 150 across the board. Shadow Dragon Saga itself as a category, until you've actually EZA'd Omega, doesn't have a leader skill higher than 150. Which is why the LR Super Saiyan 4s, if you can build a team based around their leader skill, is obviously going to give you the most powerful version of the team. But this guy obviously going to be very good. He's always good in Extreme Z battles because he gets his full potential, like his full stat buffs for the first 8 turns, which of course EZAs are never really going to go longer than that, so he's going to be very good. So he's like the go-to leader basically. And of course, you know, links up well with the Super Saiyan 4s, even though he doesn't have Saiyan Raw, so he still will be very good. The other leader, of course, is the Omega, who's getting the EZA. So he leads Shadow Dragon Saga for 150. Pre-EZA, he is not very good, though. This is the problem. So if he's the unit that you have to bring as the leader, then it is what it is. But he is obviously a much weaker unit. Now, I don't know if it specifies down here. I think I might have to go to the medals page as like a separate page. Because what you could do, if you only have him or the Int Gogeta to run as the leader, you could run the first bunch of stages to get the medals to the point where his leader skill changes. So, yeah, there you go. It's step 5. So once you've done all the silver medals, his leader skill gets upgraded to Shadow Dragon Saga 170%. So you could do the first half of the EZA, get all the silver medals, start EZAing him up this far, so then his leader skill goes up to 170, and then obviously you then have a better leader for the event. Unfortunately, it doesn't change his passive until you get to step 6, so he still is going to be on the weak side, but that would make him technically the best leader if you do the first few steps of his EZA. So next up we have the LR Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Now obviously on Global the LR Super Saiyan 4s don't have their EZAs just yet, but One thing I forgot to mention, of course, when we looked at the list, is once you get to stage 16 and start fighting Gogeta, AGL units do 80% less damage, as well as the fact that they're going to have type disadvantage against him as well. So obviously, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, not the best unit to bring, especially pre-EZA. Vegeta, because he doesn't have his EZA yet, you do have to make sure you're getting that 18 key super so he gets his defense. But he's still going to be a super good link partner for the LR Super Saiyan 4s, because obviously he's giving them Saiyan Raw and Legendary Power, so he will be very, very good on the team. You just got to make sure you're getting those 18 key supers so that he gets his defense. I mean, to be fair, in the first 15 stages where you're fighting Physical Omega, you probably won't even take that much damage, even if you're not getting his 18 key. So he is a good pick for the team, but just be a bit more careful when you get to those last 15 stages. Make sure you're getting that 18 key super attack. So next up, we have this free-to-play option, the Giant Ape GT Vegeta. Now, of course, he's not the best unit in the world, but he's on GT Heroes, so you can fit him under any of the team builds, as well as the fact, of course, he's on Shadow Dragon Saga, so he does fit on the LR Super Saiyan 4's lead. He has type advantage over Gogeta, so if you really are struggling to build your team, at least this guy does have type advantage over the final phases, so he could be useful. And of course, you know, you could get the Giant Ape transformation, which is going to give you the turn of not taking any damage. It's only from turn 4 onwards when HP is 50% or less, but if you're someone whose team for this event is not particularly good and it's taking you a little bit longer to beat the later stages, you could quite easily get to turn 4 at 50% or less HP, and then his Giant Ape transformation might actually be able to help you out. He is one of the ones that does have at least one extra key, so it makes it a little bit easier for him to super attack, but he's an okay free-to-play option. Then we have the GT Spirit Bomb Goku. This is a really old unit, so yeah, 3 years old at this point, basically. But he could still be okay. When there's a Shadow Dragon Saga category enemy, which of course there is, he randomly creates Rainbow Orbs. He gets extra attack and key per Rainbow Orb, as well as being a nuking style unit. So obviously he could be very, very effective in this EZA once you get to those final 15 stages. Obviously these two units are not going to be that good when you're still up against Physical Omega, but they could be good for the later half. Then we have the Shadow Dragons LR. So remember, they buff GT Boss's allies. So there is, of course, an option to build this team basically as like a full Shadow Dragons team. You could run them as the leader if you don't want to run Physical Omega, even though Physical Omega's leader skill is 20% higher. He obviously is a much weaker unit. These guys are pretty good. We can get them up to 90% on global currently, so they definitely will be very useful on the team. And you could, like I say, use them as a leader to make like a full actual Shadow Dragons team, because all the Shadow Dragons units are on GT bosses. So speaking of that, we of course have some more Shadow Dragons. We have the new TEQ Shenron. So if you pulled him from the banner, I think I got mine to like 90%. Him linked up with another Shadow Dragon, especially like the LR that we just talked about that's giving that extra key and everything. He could be pretty good. He creates Rainbow Orbs, and if you get the 7 orbs with him, not only does he have a chance to crit and chance to additional built in, but he gets a ton of extra attack and defense. So this guy could be really, really good. It's basically the only team that he is really good on. So this is the perfect opportunity to use him if you did manage to pull him. Next up, we have Teknova. Teknova with his EZA is reasonably solid. Like, he's not going to eat a super from Gogeta in stage 30 and be, you know, shrug it off like nothing. But he's still going to be pretty good. He provides 30% support to Shadow Dragon Saga allies. So even the super type allies, even the LR Super Saiyan 4s and stuff like that, he is going to be giving them support as well. So that is very useful. He's definitely a good pick for the team. Then we have the Oceanus Shenron. She raises defense on super, which is really useful. She launches an additional attack if the enemy is an attack or defense down, which you can't do for the later stages of the EZA. But she is another int unit, so obviously that's going to be helpful against Gogeta. She's another Shadow Dragon unit, so she's got all those links. So, I mean, you could very easily change your team to being very int heavy for the last few stages, and units like Oceanus are obviously going to be very good on that team build. Then we have the STR Omega Shenron. Now remember, in EZAs you can't use same name units, but until the physical one gets EZA'd up a bit, this guy could still be pretty decent. His full power support is not going to be for a lot of the allies. You can't lower the enemy's attack. So honestly, he just about manages to be an honourable mention. but kind of really only if you're making the full like Shadow Dragon Saga team. Otherwise, I don't honestly think he's really that great for these kind of events. He can still be good in Super Battle Road because of the attack lowering, but in events like this where you can't lower attack, then he's probably not going to be that useful. But if you want to run the full Shadow Dragon Saga build, like full actual Shadow Dragons team, and you're missing out on an Omega, then obviously he could be used. Then we have the EZA Physical Sin Shenron. He's not bad. I would say you only use him if you don't have the tech one. Even at like 55%, I think the tech one's probably going to end up being better than this guy, Rainbow, just because of what he can do. And the fact that he creates Rainbow Orbs, so he's helping out the rest of the team. But this guy could be good on the full Shadow Dragons build. I mean, if you have him at Rainbow full link level 10, and you have the tech one at like 55%, then I guess this guy probably is the better option, and will do quite well in this event. Then we have the Physical Nova Shenron. Again, we said you can't use same name units. I think the other one is actually better. He only supports Shadow Dragon Saga Super allies, which is really weird. But obviously, if you're running a team with the LR Super Saiyan 4s, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, like you could bring him on the team. He's going to get guaranteed crit, a high chance to crit when you're in the first 15 stages. But honestly, I don't think he's that great. I would personally bring the tech one more so than the physical one. And then lastly, I thought we'd have an honourable mention with our boy Marjube here with his EZA. Now, unfortunately, the Tech LR is not on Shadow Dragon Saga, so he doesn't have the best of Link partners. Like, he's going to have GT, Fused Fighter with the Int Gogeta, because remember, the physical LR Gogeta doesn't have it. And that's kind of it, really, for the team. So he's an honourable mention. Like, he'll be good against Omega because of the type advantage, but obviously he's not like a super top pick for the team. So as you can see, the category doesn't have a huge amount of options. We didn't talk about Goku because of the damage. Same reason why we didn't talk about the TUR Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and the TUR Goku's not on Shadow Dragon Saga. Full power Goku really needs an EZA, but if you're running a bunch of the other Super Saiyan 4s, then you could get away with using him. Same with the Tech Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta if you don't have the Int one. Obviously, again, same boat as Omega, where he's not super good until you've actually fully EZA'd him. But he could be decent. Everyone else is kind of fodder. Like, this Trunks and Pan are way too old. They really need EZAs. And that's it for, like, the TURs. So, Shadow Dragon Saga, not a very big team. Like I said, when it comes to team building for this one, most people, you're literally all kind of in the same boat, where it's just put together the best units you can that you have from the Shadow Dragon Saga category. And that's all you can really do. But you are going to be able to make some adjustments. Like I said, you can bring units that are under the leader skill that aren't Shadow Dragon Saga, and they'll still be okay. They'll just potentially take a lot of damage, so you want to focus on type advantage. So like, for example, Fused Fighters, for the last 15 stages, you could bring Int units that are on Fused Fighters against Gogeta, who are not in Shadow Dragon Saga. You just have to be aware of the fact that if they, like, eat a super or something, they are going to take a ton of damage. And then obviously, same with these guys, he's got the giant 8 power leader skill. So if you're running a team with a bunch of Super Saiyan 4s, you could bring, like, the Int Heroes Gohan, who has damage reduction and type advantage over the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. He could still be a pretty good defensive unit. So even if you can't make a full Shadow Dragon Saga team, because it would involve you either not having enough units, or you'd have to bring units who are like super mid, you can still kind of get away with some Int units from other categories, as long as they complement the team. So let me know what you guys think. What is your team build going to look like down below? I probably am just going to run the double LR Super Saiyan 4 leads and just see how we go, because like I said at the start when we talked about them, they are very easily going to handle business when it comes to getting through this EZA nice and easy. So if you find a friend with dupes, even the later stages, like, they're just going to go ham and destroy everything. So let me know your ideas for your team builds down below in the comments section. And like I said, if you think there's any stuff I should have covered for units that I didn't mention, or more stuff I should have said about the units I did talk about, let me know down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.